16 million people had already been approved. The money was literally about to go out the door. And then Republican elected officials and special interests stepped in. They said, no, no. Literally snatching from the hands of millions of Americans thousands of dollars in student debt relief that was about to change their lives. You know, these Republican officials just couldn't bear the thought of providing relief for working class, middle class Americans. Republican state officials sued my administration, attempting to block relief, including millions of their own constituents. Republicans in Congress voted to overturn the plan. I think every one. I don't think I had any Republican votes for this plan. At the same time, think about this. We all supported the Paycheck Protection Program, remember? PPP, you know, which was designed to help business owners who lost money because of the pandemic.
20 taxes. Several changes from 2019 tax returns could make you eligible for more stimulus money. If you had a baby in 2020, if you claimed another dependent in 2020, or if you made less in 2020 than 2019. And don't worry, you won't lose any stimulus money if you made more in 2020. But be ready to wait for your check. The IRS has until the end of the year to send plus-up payments.
If you don't get it by December 31st, then it will be on your next year's tax return.
Another reason for delay? If you didn't have the correct amount of stimulus money.
Low-income families can also get stimulus checks this year. The majority of taxpayers received their refunds in November, though some people are still waiting for money. The State Revenue Service said that those are eligible who have not received the checks yet should just wait by December 29th to receive the stimulus, if you haven't gotten one already. And it still needs to clear several steps before it becomes law. Last week, the mayor said that he'd revealed the details of the plan to send monthly checks from Missouri to low-income families. The plan calls for using $5 million in federal crisis aid to send $500 to families for 18 months. Now, around 3 million Massachusetts residents are set to receive tax rebates worth around 14% of what they paid in state income taxes. Folks, get ready for stimulus, it's here. I finally have some good news about the fourth stimulus check, and this time it is the truth. There is a ton of information that I want you guys to know about the fourth stimulus payment. A ton of news that you have to cover. The rebates will be sent directly to taxpayers' bank accounts through direct deposit. Otherwise, the rebate will be sent as a check in the mail for those who don't have direct deposit set up. The total received for the rebates is a set of fractions of one paid income tax, meaning higher earners will earn much more than that. A person who makes 35 grand will receive 200, while someone who makes $1 million would receive 7,000. There's plenty of time for people to file a tax return, as the deadline for this rebate is extended through September of next year. Prices rose less than expected, and the latest sign is that the runaway inflation has been gripping the economy even worse. The Labor Department reported again that the Consumer Price Index, which measures a wide basket of goods and services, rose just 0.1% from the previous month and increased 7.1% from a year ago. Economists had already been expecting a 0.3% monthly increase and a 7.3% 12% monthly rate. So the increase from a year ago, while above the Federal Reserve's target for a healthy inflation level, was tied for the lowest since November. It excludes volatile food and energy prices, and so-called the Core Consumer Price Index rose 0.2% and 6% on an annual basis. Joe Biden celebrated today the positive Consumer Price Index report. He said that it showed inflation is easing in the country ahead of the holiday season. Biden also said we had learned last month that the inflation rate has come down from what many experts expected, in a world where inflation is rising in double digits in many major economies around the world. The easing suggests that the Federal Reserve's interest rate increase could be working as intended, and the Fed may be able to change and achieve the soft landing it wants to achieve, and avoid a large-scale economic shutdown. The report is likely to be reassuring of the Fed and the central bank Jerome Powell when it comes to its meeting on Wednesday. The Fed is expected to only increase interest rates by half point, as opposed to the 3/4 points it has deployed throughout the year. The report marks the 5th month in a row where the rate of inflation has declined in the United States. Biden said, I want to be clear, it's going to take time to get inflation back to normal levels as you make the transition to a more stable and steady growth.
Social Security Administration, there are more than 334,000 beneficiaries here in Palm Beach County.
Seniors are the most vulnerable because they have no way of making more money.
The complex offers seniors assistance where it can, but the property manager says he's never seen so many of their tenants struggling to pay their bills.
What do you choose, food or rent?
Charitable organizations now come by weekly to hand out food. And today, the line to get food was substantial.
So, shocking news. You can expect more stimulus checks very soon. It's because Congress is discussing an action plan to address inflation again and help the people on low income. So we know that direct monthly payments are going to be sent out this month. Senior citizens and millions of other people in the United States will soon get their biggest benefit since '81, with the pension program set to deliver an 8% cost of living increase next year. Folks, according to the Social Security Administration, this annual cost of living adjustment takes effect with December benefits, and the payments will be made in January. With the increase, the average benefit check will rise more than $140 to $2,000 a month, compared with a typical benefit of $1,600 in 2022. The Social Security Administration adjusts payments annually based on the inflation rate, which this year has spiked to its highest level in 4 decades. Seniors lost purchasing power again during this year, since the 5.9% they received in 2022 is well below this year's rise in prices. According to an October survey by the advocacy group, the Senior Citizens League, about 4 in 10 seniors said they drained their emergency savings just to stay afloat this year. And folks, that's not good, because Mary Johnson, the Social Security and Medicare policy analyst at the Senior Citizens League, said anytime they go through a loss of buying power, it means they are exhausting other retirement sources, like savings or maybe even putting more on credit cards, or they might turn to safety net programs. So Johnson also added, "We have just been through a period where retirees are trying to cope and manage, and they've never been through anything like this before." The 8.7% COLA adjustment for 2023 will help seniors who have struggled with surging costs from gas to food. It may take some of them a while to rebuild their emergency savings or get back on solid financial ground. And so far, the Social Security Administration said that the January checks next year will be based on a recipient's birthday. Some experts have even noted that while the COLA increase will be a welcome sign for Social Security recipients, there's some implications to be aware of. For instance, the benefit hike could result in higher taxes. Single taxpayers who received more than $25,000 in retirement income need to pay taxes again, and while the threshold kicks in at around $32,000 for married couples, it's a lot of money. And the average Social Security benefit for 2023 will be below the amount and almost reaching $22,000 per single recipient next year. But many seniors also have other sources of retirement income that could push them above the taxation threshold, especially accounting for the 8.7% boost in their monthly benefit checks. Plus, another issue is that seniors should be aware of its impact of their higher Social Security benefits on Medicare premiums. And that's because it's mostly an issue that will impact higher income seniors, since Medicare premiums work on a sliding scale based on income. Seniors who are single, for instance, and have an income of less than $97,000, along with those who are married with income above $194,000, will pay the standard Medicare premium of $164. But seniors who earn over those thresholds will pay higher Medicare premiums, ranging from about $230 to $560 a month. Now, it may not seem a lot, but it is a lot for these people. Because let's not forget, one expert even said the final idea to keep in mind is that their income